Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast to the protection against heavy rain and flooding by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
So the big challenge is, how can house owners like you and me get a flood-free home? How can business managers like you and me get a flood-free company? And how can public servants provide flood-free critical infrastructure and livable cities?
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe. This podcast is for foresighted and proactive people who do not want to shovel the muddy water out of their room while standing in the midst of the disaster.
Therefore, those who design and plan, the architects and engineers, need to construct such buildings and cities, and that even when the entire environment is completely flooded. That is a challenge, and this podcast will give the answers.
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
Hello and welcome for another episode of Flood Protection Secrets. Yeah, today we talk about practical hacks for effective flood protection at your company. So most of us are working. Lucky are those who don't work anymore and who enjoy the retirement perhaps. But for all those who still work in a company, not in a home office, they will also face these problems perhaps like in this what I explained in this episode about a company that was flooded. It is like an attack from Mother Earth, from nature, and this force of nature can really destroy a company, and that is why they are looking for solutions to protect their premises, right? Imagine this: last year your company was hit hard by an unexpected flood. And this year, as the project manager, you and I call him Mciahel, Mciahel Thompson, he has been tasked with the critical mission of finding a robust flood protection solution to prevent such disasters. It's a responsibility that weighs heavily on, in this case, your shoulders, but it's also an opportunity to showcase your proactive approach and safeguard your company's future. So Mciahel was starting to investigate a little bit what flood protection means and what it is about. And first let's address the elephant in the room, identifying all potential flood entry points. That these are the points of water ingress. It's not just about the main entrances. We must consider windows, vents, and even underground access points. And Mciahel realizes that comprehensive protection is key. Each opening is a potential risk, and even some pipes, some empty pipes for electric cables or telephone cables or internet or whatever. And it's essential to ensure every one of these openings is secured. So let's build a solid foundation. That's the next thing, and that is what I very often observe, that when people contact us and they ask for a flood protection, they don't consider the foundation at all. And the foundation is really important because stability is paramount. The flood barriers must be robust enough to withstand intense water pressure. It's not just about erecting barriers, it's about ensuring they stand firm when it matters most. Mciahel ponders over this, understanding that the foundation of these barriers is as crucial as the barriers themselves. And the barriers that you sometimes see, they are only the tip of the iceberg. That imagine you enclose a whole house, a building. That happened. That is one case. My business friend in Germany from the Stepan AKG, Mr. Reiner, was telling me. He said there was one customer who enclosed his home. And then, of course, it was necessary to have a solid foundation. I don't remember the protection height. It was something about 1.80 meter or 2.10 meter or something like that. So already the height of an adult. So me, I measure 1.92 meter, so it's around my height. And then it is not enough just to install a perimeter of flood barriers around one house. Imagine now the rain comes and the soil gets wet, and it depends on the stability of the soil. What kind of soil do you have? And then suddenly the whole construction is starting to swim, is starting to move. And that must be avoided. So you need a solid foundation. First, also where you can attach the bolts to fix the middle supports and corner supports that you have. Of course, you have a house, so you have 4 corners at least. And you have middle supports in between the flood barriers. So, and they must be attached somewhere, and that is called an anchoring system. And this anchoring system needs a foundation made by concrete. And this concrete must be deep enough and strong enough. And it should be connected to the house as well, because then it is everything is a stable construction, and the barriers cannot move anymore. They are connected to the house, to the home. And that is, it's quite a challenge. It is similar to dikes. The dikes also are only stable and can work and protect the land behind. Very good example are the Netherlands, of course. But also the north shore of Germany. We have a lot of dikes over there. They must be wide enough and stable enough. It is not enough just to put some sand. That will be washed away with the next wave. That is not enough. So it is a stabilization inside the soil. And that is called foundation, and the foundation carries an anchoring system, and this anchoring system is connected to the flood barriers, and then they can withstand the water pressure. So that was a small trip to building a solid foundation. I hope it is a little bit clear, and Mciahel, at least in my story, has understood it, so he is considering it, and he knows that the value of investment, or the value is quite high, but it gives him the safety, and he can sleep well because he will know that the barriers can only do the job if they are well connected to the ground. Another part that is essential is storage and maintenance. So the question of storage, yes, where will these demountable flood barriers be kept? In case we talk about demountable flood barriers, of course there are also flood doors, flood gates, automatic flood systems, flood barrier systems. You might ask, what is that? These automatic flood barriers, they swing like doors and gates, but that is normally not automatic. That is a manual operation. But they flip up, they drop down, they slide, or they pivot. That can be done in an automatic way. But of course, you can also trigger them in a manual way, and you can turn a key, for instance, use an electronic system, whatever. So, but we talk about demountable flood barriers, and they must be stored somewhere. And Mciahel knows they must be accessible yet out of the way. And what about maintenance? Regular checks and timely replacements are vital to ensure these barriers are always in top-notch condition. Mciahel notes down, annual maintenance and spare parts availability are crucial. Then we come to the next point. An often overlooked but vital aspect is the training. Mciahel envisions regular drills to ensure his team knows exactly what to do when a flood warning is issued. And who is his team? That can be the neighbor, that can be the uncle, that can be the wife or the daughter, the brother, sister, whoever is living in this household and can help. So it's important that they know exactly what to do when a flood warning is issued. It's not just about having the right equipment. It's about knowing how to use it efficiently and effectively. So Mciahel plans to incorporate this into the company's annual training program, because every company has a training program. There's an earthquake drill, not in the north of Germany, but in Asia. There are earthquake drills in the Philippines every year. I think even twice a year they do that. And it's the same like fire exit training or fire drill that takes place in every hotel. Now, perhaps you remember when you were traveling around the world that sometimes you find a piece of paper below your door, then you hear this noise, and then you see a white paper or an envelope is pushed below your hotel door to your room, and then you read it because you might think perhaps there's a special event today, or there's a bottle of drinks for you for free, but at the end it is a earthquake drill or fire drill. And then of course you have to participate at these drills. And why not also flood protection drill? So that's why Mciahel says, okay, I will include that in the company's annual training program. And companies, of course, have more trainings. So that is further education, IT training, HR training, technical trainings, whatever, sales trainings, of course, purchase trainings for the purchasing department, and so on and so forth. So what have we learned today about Mciahel? Mciahel Thompson now has a clear roadmap for implementing a comprehensive flood protection plan. He understands it's not just about buying barriers, it's about a holistic approach to flood safety, involving careful planning, regular maintenance, and team preparedness. And as usual, here comes my golden nugget for you. Perhaps you are waiting for it already. My small piece of gold for you. It's always a pleasure to share it with you, and I really give it, it comes from the heart. So remember, in the world of flood protection, it's the little things that make a big difference. Regular maintenance, spare parts, and team training can be the difference between a minor inconvenience and a major catastrophe. Thank you for joining me on this journey to securing our workspaces against floods. Today, if you found this episode insightful, do subscribe for more tips, tricks, and hacks in flood protection. Subscribe for Flood Protection Secrets. If you haven't done it yet, stay safe and flood free. I wish and hope for you that you make the right decisions when it comes to your personal flood protection. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this podcast channel if you haven't already. Now it only remains for me to wish you a good day. Do something with it. Maybe until the next podcast episode. I would be very happy. See you then. As always, stay safe and flood free. Your Andreas Klippe and the whole Flood Experts team.
That's it again with the new episode of Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood Andreas Klippe, German engineer, book author, and head of the Flood Experts. What can Dr. Flood Andreas Klippe protect for you? Anytime? Worldwide? Contact us or just click through to www.floodexperts.de/bonus. Detailed engineering, German quality, safe. Flood Protection Secrets. The secrets you'll want to unfold.
Don't forget, you're only one flood barrier away.
Subscribe to the season, and you'll never be late for an episode.